Welcome to Courtside, presented by Her Hoop Stats here on our YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you drop us a like. It really helps us out. Also follow us on Twitter at Her Hoop Stats and follow me on Twitter at Gabe Ibrahim. Follow Christy on Twitter at Christy W. Scott 51. Christy, no time to mess around. Let's get right into it. The Chicago Sky pull off a rousing Game 1 victory to take the lead in the WNBA Finals on the road in Phoenix. They're heading back for Game 2 on Wednesday, again in Phoenix. But Christy, give me one reason why the Sky were able to beat the Mercury in Game 1.
Space and pace. Chicago, they pushed the tempo, and they knew that Phoenix had a short rotation, and they utilized that to the maximum. They pushed the tempo whenever they could. Kahleah was amazing, getting out into the open floor, and they had to get boards and stops to be able to run that way. So it was all predicated upon how they played defense, but it was their space and pace that got them the win.
I agree with you, Christy. I think my reason is part of that. My reason was offensive timing. I think the team really just knew exactly where the rotations were coming from, and they also knew where the adjustments were coming from. So it really enabled them to punch back every time Phoenix got any momentum going and keep them down in this game. And that's what I think pushed them to getting that big lead in the second quarter and holding it crucially through the third quarter, where we've seen Phoenix be able to come back. Chicago had 24 assists to 15 turnovers versus Phoenix 17 assists to 18 turnovers. And I think that just really sums up how Chicago was able to do what they did, because they knew exactly where each other was going to be. So they didn't turn the ball over. They were able to get assists. They were able to get to the basket. And I think that's what really separated them in this game. All right, Christy, let's get into a little bit more specifics. Who is your MVP of Game 1?
The whole team from Chicago. It's an MVP. They were magnificent together in that game. And like you said, defensively, they were in sync, but on the offensive side, they were able to read and react with one another. And I just thought it was so impressive to watch them. But if you narrow it all down, I got to go with Kahleah Copper. I mean, she has just really evolved into a megastar in the postseason. And that's when your legacy is made. In the postseason, and Copper, she's writing her own story right now.
I have it above my back. Kahleah freaking Copper, KFC. I love some of that Kentucky Fried Chicken that she's serving up. She's been amazing. If I'm picking an MVP, since you took Kahleah, I'm going to go with Courtney Vandersloot. Unbelievable game. As always, 12 points, 11 assists, 5 rebounds, and she was just ahead of the snake. That offensive timing I was talking about, that was really due to Courtney Vandersloot. She just knew when to pull a mid-ranger, when to hit the pop, when to wait for a play to develop a little bit more, when to flow into a new play, a new action, and she does everything for this team. We've said it all along in these playoffs. The Phoenix Mercury have another home game to get back into this series. Christy, give me one solution that they can incorporate into their next game.
Adding some depth. Sophie Cunningham is back. She made the announcement that she's coming back. And also they've had rest now in between. They didn't have much recovery time after playing on Friday against Vegas to close out that series, and then had to play right away on Sunday. But now they've had a couple of days under their belt, got their legs under them, and we'll see a different Phoenix team because of that rest. But I think when you add depth like Sophie Cunningham on the perimeter, she's going to be able to spell some players who couldn't get spelled on Sunday.
The one thing I want to see from Phoenix as a strategy decision is just to get Brittany Griner going a little bit more early in the game. That really slows down the pace of the game, which is in Phoenix's favor. They need to slow down the pace of this series if they want to win. Obviously, getting Brittany Griner going is great for a bunch of different reasons, getting those rotations going for Chicago, and hopefully getting their bigs in a little bit of foul trouble so it disrupts their big rotation. Be very helpful, all things, getting the ball down low to Brittany Griner early, and it also saves some of their energy for later in the game when we know Chicago will be trying to get out and run because they know Phoenix is tired. So get the ball down low to Brittany Griner early. All right, Christy, it is the moment of truth. We love making predictions here on YouTube and on our podcast. At least I do. You can see Christy's face. She always wants to tinker with her predictions too. So we'll see how this goes. Christy, tell me what's going to happen in Game 2.
Well, I think that you're going to see a different Phoenix team. So I think Phoenix is going to go ahead and even up this series. And I think they're going to play the way that they want to play in this game. I mean, they're still in Phoenix. They didn't have to travel. I think they're going to really show fresh legs, and they're going to come out on top and tie this series up.
I agree. I think they eke out a close one. I think they need it. Obviously, we want to see more games. So please, Phoenix, eke out this one so we can see more games. I really think, though, you see the faces on Brittany Griner, Diana Taurasi, Skylar Diggins-Smith after that game. They knew they were tired. They knew that they had a built-in disadvantage with the scheduling, with the depth issues, but they were mad. I think those three come out. They have a big game. I think Diana Taurasi in particular has a big game. I think Brittany Griner also gets going a little bit earlier, and that'll propel Phoenix to a game 2 victory on Wednesday. And we are so excited to watch that. And hopefully we'll be back to talk about that game. Hopefully it's a classic, and we have so much more to discuss here on YouTube. Again, if you haven't, please subscribe, drop us a like. Huge deal for us here on the channel that we're trying to grow. And tune into our podcast, Courtside, on the Her Hoop Stats Podcast Network, where we will be breaking down this much further. And we'll catch you guys next time.